criminal scum! What are you doing, tippy-toeing around here, night thief? This is the podcast Raw Dogs. Now, pay the fine or serve your sentence. Then pay with your blood! Ah! Oh! No one gets away with that in my city. No! I've been murdered.
Hi, guys.
We're here.
Hello. So I know that we had mentioned we were doing an Elden Dogs today, but we're going to do Raw Dogs instead.
Switching it up.
Switching it up. Hey, everybody. Welcome to Raw Dogs. We are part of the HyperX podcast network. A lot of amazing podcasts on there. Check them all out. Proud member. And Raw Dogs is just like a really good style of podcast. It's a lot of people say that we're like
the better version of it.
Generation defining. People are big fans. We have a few reviews, so check them out and write some if you want.
You know how they say that there's a video game podcast around every corner? Well, this is the one right around your corner.
This one's around the alley in the basement.
Yeah.
Yeah, where there's a guy throwing up. I've been playing Disco Elysium. Sorry, my mind's in weird places. I'm
you
Brad.
haven't learned his name yet.
Harold Dubois.
Yeah, well, I guess you did know that.
Yeah, Everard taught me that one.
Yeah.
Yes, I'm Brad, and today we're going to talk about demons.
We're talking about the demons?
Yeah. And I'm Dylan, and I'm also ready to talk about demons. It's one of my specialties.
When people say the D-Man, they mean demon. That's what the D stands for.
That's why I call myself D-Man. It's not because...
I never put that together.
That's actually why I call myself that.
D-Man. I get it now.
Yeah, you get it.
And in the words of my younger brother, I'm T-Bone Capone.
T-Bone Capone. Dang it. I don't have a good one.
T-Bone Capone?
T-Bone Capone.
Why?
I don't know. My brother just makes up nicknames for people.
Oh, pretty good.
And T-Bone is an easy one.
I called you T-Bone before, yeah, but
But we're Italian, so he throws in the Capone for a little added flair. And I'm feeling good today, so
yeah.
I can't just be Tyler. I'm feeling a little T-Bone
Just
Capone.
Sonic.
Just Sonic.
Tyler's very much not an Italian name.
No, it's not.
Yeah. And then okay, never mind.
Moving on.
There we go.
Let's talk about Satan.
Yeah.
Speaking of Satan.
My mom's going to love this podcast.
Don't worry.
Is she listening?
I'm not.
Your mom listens?
When she finds time, yeah.
Oh, sure.
Well, everyone's going to want to listen to this episode because it is Raw Dogs number 66. And we might not make it to 666. So we are talking about demons. Demons in video games, demons in general. I was going to talk about the devil specifically, but the devil is kind of a loose term in itself. Demons mean a lot of things to a lot of religions, and also they have their own. There's a lot going on here.
It's true.
I spent a good 5 or 6 hours a couple weeks ago just looking at demon stuff on the computer. And
Yeah.
Google loves me right now. Just at the very top. Demons. The etymology for the word demon comes from ancient Greece. I wanted to just kind of know when demons entered the lexicon, because they've always just been a part of human nature.
Yeah.
In the background, the things that go bump in the night.
It's essentially like evil spirits.
Whatever caught, like, oh, why did that guy fuck a goat? Must have been a demon.
Or Zeus.
Yeah, and the guy's just like, yeah, I was possessed.
Why else would I have done that?
Oh, that wasn't me. That was Belfour. Just made up a name. And they're like, oh no, Belfour's back.
Black Phillip.
Yeah. That's what made me do it. The ancient Greek word daemon denotes a spirit or divine power, most likely came from the Greek verb daistahi, to divide or distribute. The original word does not carry the negative connotation initially understood by the Koine Greek word daimonion, and later ascribed to other variations using that root. So essentially, it wasn't evil at first. I did write down a fair amount of notes about stuff, but mostly it boils down to almost every ancient civilization has had demons in some form. I think the primary difference a lot of them are they strictly bad? Can demons be good as well? Are they malevolent forces? But essentially, a lot of them are powers separate from us, above us, that exert what their desires onto us to make us do bad stuff.
Sure. Well, and it's not always technically bad. Sometimes they're like just tricksters, and it doesn't always necessarily mean a bad thing to call something like demonic.
Yeah. Video games have taught me that demons are cool as fuck. Like that's
honestly, yeah. It's a lot of the visual imagery is it's pretty ingrained in my head.
Yeah, I was raised Catholic. You are religious?
I was raised Baptist.
Okay, so you baptize people.
I was baptized.
Okay.
Yeah.
Baptists are a little strict, aren't they?
Yeah. I guess I wasn't supposed to watch Harry Potter or cut my hair or dance, but I did all three of those things a lot.
You weren't supposed to dance?
I've never seen you.
Mom, I'm going to fucking dance.
I heard that
little Billy Elliot over here.
It can get very strict. I was very loose with the rules. I watched Harry Potter, I cut my hair, and I think I probably danced while getting my hair cut with Sorcerer's Stone on in the background at some point.
That's like a triple threat.
Yeah, going straight to hell.
Oh my God. Yeah. So essentially, hell is just a big musical to the Baptists.
Yeah. They do a lot of singing, so you're not far off.
Yeah.
Southern Baptists use snakes, right?
I'm not sure.
Okay. I can't keep track of all of them because I was raised Catholic as well. Just like straight up German Catholic. So, they didn't really even talk about demons that much.
Is that a lot of standing and kneeling and standing and kneeling? Okay.
It's 2-hour-long services, and you just get to be bored as all fucking get out.
At what point does a child realize that demons look cool? The first time they hear Metallica on the radio and they're like, wait a second, maybe the bad stuff is actually something I enjoy. I don't know. Because if you compare every demon you've ever seen to like all the pictures of angels, there's just like I'm going to lean towards one pretty heavily as far as to what looks cool.
I mean, like the biblical the descriptions of angels are actually pretty hardcore. Like they don't actually look like people with wings. They look like scary, like
eyeballs and with wings.
Which really sucks.
Moving around each
Why
other.
don't they show us the cool stuff?
Well, because they had to.
Instead of just white dudes with long hair. That's
it's their recruitment tactic from when they were making these pieces. It was literally just like, well, most people can't read anyway. We might as well show them our version of what angels might be. So it's either like just like hot dudes with wings or
just like 8-packs and
yeah, because
Thor hair.
Because they're like, well, you don't want to scare people, but in the Bible, if you read it, every person who comes upon an angel is just like, whoa, what the fuck?
I've seen a couple movies that portray angels as being terrifying, which is way more exciting. They shouldn't necessarily just look like naked white dudes with a spear, with one cloth tastefully covering their giant package.
Guys, are you comfortable that I'm fully naked here right now?
Yeah, if you're listening, we're all naked right now.
We're comparing sizes.
And I mean, going back to like original like holy text, there were huge battles between angels and demons, and not just Dan Brown novels like Angels and Demons. I love that book in high school. I don't know. It's always been extremely heavy metal and a lot of killing and a lot of fighting for territory, fighting for the human soul. And I just feel let down by Catholicism that they shied away from everything cool that I could have read about in the Bible. And instead they taught us about forgiveness and carpentry. Just be like, this is the fourth angel of the Dominion. His power was telekinesis. I'd have been like, oh.
Whoa. And I would have drawn him. It would have been great if they like described him to me.
Instead, you just see a random picture of like a devil with a giant, like big shaft. I'm like, dang, he looks hardcore.
Yeah.
How are we going to fight him? We're just white dudes with 8-packs.
Well, I mean, the traditional like depiction of the devil that we're aware of is basically just transforming like a forest spirit into a like demonic figure. They just took it over because I believe it's based off of an ancient deity called Cernunnos, which is like an ancient like forest god from like France in the pagan religions.
Yeah.
So am I actually am I kind of
There's if I wanted to write down like every demon in history, it would have taken forever.
Okay.
Yeah, that is one that I did read about.
Yeah, so they're just essentially like this bad, these good. And so they would take the thing that they already wanted to villainize and kind of copy paste onto it.
Yeah.
Yeah. But also those forest spirits look pretty fucking cool. They've got animal qualities, they commune with nature, they've got weird hooves.
Yeah.
It's kind of rad.
Very rad. Very
Yeah.
rad. Very cool.
Yeah.
All about that shit. I'm going to name some important books in demonology, and I don't think you maybe heard of these. I could be wrong, but I think Dylan might have heard of some of these.
Okay, I know one for sure.
What do you got?
The Necronomicon.
See, I'm going older. When's the Necronomicon? That's a
1979 Sam Raimi made Evil Dead.
Oh no, I'm talking about because that's only
Real things.
No, these are real books.
Oh, I know. I was doing a bit.
Okay.
Just the book with like flayed skin on it.
Yeah.
I mean,
of course.
there are many great
I love
books for
Evil Dead.
summoning
Yeah, hell
demons.
yeah.
But the 14th or 15th century was when the Key of Solomon came out,
I have heard of that.
and it's also a game for the Nintendo. 1480
Solomon's Key is
Solomon's Key. 1487, the Hammer,
really boring.
the Hammer of Witches, Malleus Maleficarum. 1592, Dr. Faustus. That one I know the story for a little bit. 1597, Daemonology. But what is one of the most important texts is from the mid 17th century, the Lesser Key of Solomon. I believe that's the one. It's one of the Solomons, where it's essentially a bestiary for the Persona 5 demons.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like pretty much every demon in great detail, what makes them unique. And
I should have brought my Demon Tarot deck. Why am I so dumb?
that would have been cool. That would have been cool.
Whatever.
But that was one of the earliest cases of like a bestiary of what all the demons are. And that would have just been a cool book to have as a kid.
It would have been terrifying back in the day though. Like that was like their TV.
because you thought they were all real back then. Yeah. Ooh, this one is Belfour. He sounds terrifying.
He's like my neighbor Jim down the road. He also fucks goats. Must be a demon. Nobody would actually really want to fuck a goat.
Right, Jim? Yep.
Yep. It's a demon. I need
Possessed
to
again.
get
Yeah, my bad.
Hit the nail right on the head.
Those are some of the early cases of when demons were kind of becoming more kind of combined into one group mythology, where things were like just demons are apart from almost all religion. Like they're a part of different religions, but that was like all of them kind of being put together as like, this is all the demons. And
They really love to well, maybe it's because we live in America, but it really gets shoved on the Judeo-Christian mythology more than anything for all of us.
yeah, that's one of those things too. You hear about devils and demons, and you do associate it with Judeo-Christian mythology, but there's demons in every religion.
Yeah,
And
even Buddha had, when he was sitting underneath the tree, had to go away from temptation. And that includes Mara and her daughters.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, and it's just important to know, no matter what your religion is, there's demons in the other ones. Fear them all, especially Belfour. You don't want no part of that guy.
No.
Yeah. Belfour.
Before we get into specific video games, I did want to just mention the Satanic Panic, which was a big deal back in the day. Started in the 1980s. It consists of 12,000 unsubstantiated cases of satanic ritual abuse.
Yep. Where kids were getting transported down toilets and to basements. And,
Everything was by a
Yeah.
cult.
Yeah.
Everything was to do with a cult. This was essentially like proto-QAnon.
And D&D.
Yep, D&D
And-
was very much involved.
And without spoiling anything at all, Stranger Things Season 4
Yeah.
has definitely got its fingers in the Satanic Panic,
Absolutely.
this new season.
People are afraid of things they don't understand.
like D&D.
Like funny
Still
little
don't understand
games.
it. Scares the shit out of me.
It's fun.
Allegations of horrific acts by outside groups included cannibalism, child murder, torture, and incestuous orgies, all enacted by the other. As scapegoats of complex problems in times of social distortion. Why do we want to really understand why people do bad things? It's not the guns, it's demons.
Yeah.
That's what's really going on here. But of all 12,000 documented accusations, not a single claim was substantiated. I do love that fact about the Satanic Panic.
Yep.
They didn't prove one fucking thing after 12,000 cases.
Yeah.
No, my kid was down the toilet, I swear. Nope. Wasn't Satan. But yes, Dungeons and Dragons were heavily involved. Created in 1974 as the first role-playing game made commercially available. 1979, James Dallas Egbert III, a 16-year-old and devoted D&D player, disappeared. The game warped his mind and caused a suicide, it was alleged. This was brought to attention to the news media.
I remember this.
Of course, sales soared, making Dungeons and Dragons the hottest shit around.
That's kind of hardcore, yeah.
Yeah.
Way to fucking shoot yourself in the foot.
I mean, anytime like Mortal Kombat or Doom, someone's like, this has got the devil involved. They're like, yes, we do. Please talk about this more.
Yeah.
This will
Do you
help
want this
sales.
Metallica CD too? Yeah.
I love it. I
You
mean,
like thrash metal?
at least those are good pieces of media. There are some video games that are terrible that get brought to attention. They become important pieces of like pop culture. Postal, I'm thinking of that one Night Trap game.
Oh, Night Trap, yeah, which sucks. I actually played it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it was brought to the attention of the media. In 1985, some ding-dongs created BADD, bothered about Dungeons and Dragons, was the best they could come up with.
It just shows lack of intelligence and creativity.
Bad. It's very fun. Role-playing games in D&D were specifically created as satanic cult recruitment tools, inducing youth to suicide, murder, and satanic shit. Other recruitment tools included heavy metal music. This was kind of the landscape at around the 70s, 80s. There's not really a good list online of like demons in video games. I thought this would be a much easier topic to get into, but there's not like this is the first time the devil showed up in a game. I mean, it depends on
How could you possibly track that? I mean, it's such a iconic figure, you know?
I feel like the first iteration of Satan or the devil or a demon in a game would have to be like probably pinball. There's probably a satanic pinball machine.
Did you look at this outline?
No, I did not.
It is pinball.
Hell yeah.
So smart.
Genius.
In 1978, the game Devil came out as a pinball machine. The backlash features a red devil using Cyclops eyes to blow up buildings in a big city. Another pinball game that came out was called Devil's Dare, 1982. There's something about old school pinball that is so heavy metal. Some of those designs, just like the glowing red.
Oh, yeah.
The soundtracks. There's something about pinball audio that just kind of has a more intense nature to it. It just, I don't know, I guess comparing it to, video games at the time, those were just so rudimentary, just kind of like loud pulsing pinball machines are so cool. Mm-hmm. Especially when there's just a big devil on there. That seems like an undervalued piece of horror. I remember there's one, Are You Afraid of the Dark as a kid, where the kid's playing a pinball machine and he gets sucked into the pinball machine.
You just got to run away from the ball.
That's a part of it, but all the characters in the pinball game are chasing him through a mall and he has to like save a princess. I don't know. Just like heavy metal, old school arcade and pinball machines are so cool to me.
Sure.
Big fan.
This is the tale of, I don't know, pinball?
The pinball wizard. But the first video game, the first arcade game to have the devil is a game called Satan's Hollow. It came out in
Wow, pretty direct.
1982. This is from the sell sheet. The hot new battle game that dares you to cross the blazing bridge of fire to do battle with the master of darkness, Satan. He was a red dude with horns, carried a pitchfork. It was a fixed shooter shoot 'em up. It's got Wagner's Ride of the Valkyries music playing in the background.
No shit.
I watched a lot of the game. It looks fucking awesome.
I'd play it.
It's heavy metal. It's got a castle. It's all red skies. You're like shooting demon gargoyles and shit.
Oh, it's so cool.
Yeah.
Sign me up.
Yeah. We're not going to talk about, though. I just wanted to kind of cover a lot of the earlier history. We don't necessarily have to go game by game because there's fucking a lot of them.
There's too much of it.
I will mention a few more of the early ones that I thought were unique. 1982, a little bit later, Pepper 2 came out. There was never a Pepper 1. They just jumped right to Pepper 2. I think it was because it was a Pac-Man competitor and they wanted it to seem like a successful game already.
Is that true?
Yes, there's no Pepper 1.
I've never seen Pepper.
You play as an angel named Pepper, whose one defense is grabbing a pitchfork, which turns him into a devil, which pretty exciting.
Some real Devil May Cry shit.
Embrace the darkness. You know, that's the only way you can win is if you become a demon.
I kind of like that.
Yeah. Pac-Man just eats ghosts. Pac-Man's got Kirby vibes, kind of. There's a few other games, but I think probably the biggest name early on, 1985, Ghosts and Goblins.
Yeah.
This really embraced
Firebrand,
demons, devils,
it's all
zombies,
like,
Frankensteins.
Classic horror.
The game is known as Makaimura in Japan, Demon World Village.
Pretty good.
What's the name of your village? Demon World.
I think you're looking for trouble if you start naming things that.
Yeah, you fight zombies, ogres, demons, cyclopes, dragons, and other monsters to save Princess Prin, who has been kidnapped by Astaroth, king of the demon world. The first game had the final boss of Astaroth. Yes, he is the Great Duke of Hell. You hear that ringing?
Yeah, what is that? That was weird.
All right.
Maybe we picked up something on it. Maybe we have an EVP.
Guys, I don't know. I'm just saying this never has happened before. And we mentioned the word Astaroth and the goat fucker Belfour. And all of a sudden we're hearing weird sounds.
Honestly, that was really weird. And I couldn't, for the life of me, it's pretty easy for me to pinpoint where a sound comes from.
I think Belfour might be in the room with us. Guys, hide your goats.
Hold on. Get out of here, Billy.
So glad I left my goat at home.
Yeah, the sequel, Ghouls and Ghosts, had Lucifer as the final boss. Another great demon. From here on, we can just kind of hit some of our favorite franchises and shoot the shit before we have a special category at the end, which will be a fun one. But Castlevania's first entry came out in 1986. I'm a huge fan of the Castlevania franchise.
Yeah, thanks to the anime for kind of turning me on to it. Because I always knew about Castlevania, but never really been big into like old retro games until probably about 6 months ago.
Well, there's two kinds. Well, there's two core kinds of Castlevania to me.
There's the Metroidvania.
And then there's the original hardcore 2D. Not just 2D, but
it's kind
side
of
scroller. I don't know how you say it.
Technically a platformer, but I wouldn't even call it that.
More rooted in intense difficulty and punishing gameplay.
Yeah.
Whereas Metroidvania is a little more approachable. But then there's also like the 3D remakes and sequels and prequels and remakes and all that stuff. But what was the first Castlevania game you played, Tyler?
Oh, I don't remember the name of it. Whatever my dad had.
Okay.
There are a lot of them, so it's really hard to pinpoint what it would be.
This would have been like 1995.
Okay, so we might be talking like anything from like Dracula X on the Super Nintendo.
Yeah, I'd say that's probably, or maybe Super Castlevania 4.
It's definitely possible because
it would have been around that time. Because Symphony of the Night's 97.
Super Castlevania 4 was my first Castlevania.
I mean, look at these covers here. We got some of these games in front. Castlevania Bloodlines. It looks kind of like a hairy devil on the back here.
That is Dracula, you fool.
Well, Dracula does have hairy forms. He doesn't, but that's not how I pictured Dracula. But this is maybe Bloodlines leans more into the Bram Stoker novel, which is canon in Castlevania. If you didn't know, Bram Stoker's Dracula is canon in the Castlevania series. So you can go read that book and know you're reading Castlevania.
Really? Where was Simon?
But there are characters in Bloodlines directly from the book.
Oh, so like the
Jonathan Morris,
yep,
and some of those. It might be like their offspring.
The American and Van Helsing and all that.
So many enemies throughout Castlevania. The series are based on myths and folklore, many demons. The castle itself, I was kind of happy to read this, is an entity of chaos. It's kind of its own. It's its own entity. It's its own idea outside of Dracula. That's why it can just appear and always look different. It's kind of
amorphous.
It's amorphous, and so some demons are born inside of it. Some choose to just like kind of hang out there because there are a lot of things that are part of the castle and some things that aren't. Castlevania's got a really weird mythos that is kind of amorphous itself, but I just wrote down a list of some of the cool demons in Castlevania. You have Adremelech,
yeah.
the Grand Chancellor of Hell, and he's also the supervisor of Satan's wardrobe.
Important job.
I love the specifics of some of the weird demons that they did come up with, but he is the one who's like,
No, girl.
you should wear red.
Stripes and plaid, really?
Yeah.
We're thinking black and red.
Adremelech is also featured in, of course, Shin Megami Tensei, and just so you know, every single demon we mention is featured in Persona games and Shin Megami Tensei. Almost every single one we mentioned, because that is like the most definitive game about demons.
Adremelech is also in Final Fantasy Tactics Advance.
And Final Fantasy 12.
Yeah.
Yeah, because those Final Fantasy games love their demons as well.
Yeah.
Beelzebub, Lord of the Flies, hangs from various meat hooks. We have Gop, who is the High President and Prince of Hell, who commands 60 legions. Hell has a president, I guess. I don't know if it was democratically elected, but President Gop.
I don't see a fair election going down in hell.
Oh, who ran against Gop? I don't know.
Can you imagine the gerrymandering in hell?
Yeah. It's all by rings.
Hashtag not my president.
Hashtag not my hell.
Thanks, Gop.
Yeah, thanks.
This place has really gone downhill since Gop got elected.
Working conditions down here suck.
Let's go bop.
We know what you mean. You mean Gop.
No.
No, we said Bop. Legion is one of the more popular Castlevania ones, also known as Grand Falloon. This is a demon that possessed people. When characters say, "We are Legion," it alludes to this demon, like in Animal Crossing when they say that. Also kind of reminiscent of the one reborn in Bloodborne. And another big one is Lilith. Variations of the Hebrew Bible has Lilith being made to be Adam's first mate. She was too independent and refused missionary position. And so she would not be subservient, so she then became a demon. So Adam's first wife was too headstrong of a woman and refused to have sex in the missionary position.
She only wanted doggy.
Damn her to hell, I guess.
And that's
Lilith might actually be one of our mascots.
and Belfour. I'm excited. Belfour actually is a real demon. He's probably not the goat fucker though.
No, Belphegor is a demon of like sloth. So like he's often depicted shitting.
Yeah, that could be us too.
He's often on a toilet.
But Lilith is
playing a Nintendo Switch.
Yeah, that would be the variation. It'd be sitting on the toilet, but with a Switch in your hand.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think it's cool that Lilith is associated now with the defiance of man. She's kind of become a patron saint for feminism and just standing up against man like, no, fuck you.
And in Wiccan.
And naturally, like,
Yeah.
we white men do not like her now. She is a demon.
Well, to be fair, early on, they weren't white men.
Oh, no. Not until it was revised by white men later on. They're like, this one's ours.
Yeah.
We're going to take that.
We'll take it.
Hey, you know your God? White man. Take that. Pazuzu, a Syrian demon. That's the demon that possesses Linda Blair in The Exorcist.
I love The Exorcist. It's so funny.
Satan himself shows up in Lords of Shadow. Sirens are a female demon in Greek mythology with beautiful voices.
Wait, they're demons in mythology? I thought they were their own separate thing.
It depends on the mythology you're looking at.
Yeah, it really does depend.
So like the Odyssey, Odysseus, those are demons.
No, like those are like creatures that exist out in the world. They do have their own like cadre of demons that come from the underworld because you still have Hades.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's I was thinking Hades would be a good game to put on here, but I don't think technically Hades or anything in Hades would be considered a demon.
Maybe all the Skellymen you destroy.
But I don't know if they're considered demons or they're like a separate creature that's not demonic. I don't know. There's fuzzy lines.
Well, it
here.
might actually just be the undead that aren't like consecrated to like the Elysium Fields or whatever.
Dang, man. That's poetic.
Thanks.
Yeah.
I'm really good at this.
I knew the demon topic would just be layups for us all day long. And then one other one I just want to mention, the succubus, female night demon that would seduce men in their dreams in hopes that a demon child would be conceived. Succubi are in many things, and incubus is the male version.
Listen, I don't like the way we're talking about my ex-wife.
She's a nice lady.
I didn't know that an incubus was the male version.
Yep.
Yeah.
My mind's kind of blown.
Yeah.
Because I thought the band Incubus was succubus for like a hot minute. Because I learned that word, and then that song was on the radio all the time, so I just like put them together.
Yeah.
Incubus, though. I wasn't far off.
I love the Incubus in the Persona series because it's literally just a little demon man, and he's got like a prong that's meant to be like his penis, and it's really big and it hooks up. It's very funny.
Yeah. You mentioned the P word. 1987 was the first
P word?
Persona.
Oh,
Yeah. I thought
penis?
No. No.
That is also a P word.
Indeed it is.
The P
as
word.
well as the word phallic,
Yeah.
which Shin Megami Tensei, I was surprised to learn its first game came out in 1987.
Oh, I didn't even know that.
In the Shin Megami Tensei franchise, demon is actually a catch-all term for any supernatural being ranging from goblins and fairies to gods.
So, like, then it would include like anything from like the Odyssey.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Even angels are technically one specific type of demon, though they'd probably be very angry at you if you called them that. Demons in general are still very bad news for unwary humans, despite not all being horned monstrosities straight out of a Doom game. This goes back to the original meanings of the word simply meaning a spiritual being. Persona and Shin Megami are not the same universe. Dylan knew this. This was my first time. It's the same, related franchises that uses a lot of the same
Assets, yeah.
but separate.
Yeah.
How many Shin Megami games have you played, Dylan?
I have played, at this point, 3 of them. So 3, 4, and 5. That's pretty much it. The other ones, they're kind of hard to get your hands on.
There's a lot of them. I was surprised.
There's like Devil Survivor, Devil Hacker. There's way too much to even like quantify. There is someone who knows this better than I do, but if I could have had my hands on them when I was younger, I would have, but I also didn't own like a PS2.
Yeah.
Otherwise, I would have had all these games probably.
Yeah, it's one of those things. I went back and looked at some of the like Persona 1 and 2, and I don't know if I could play those games looking
You
back
wouldn't
on
want
them. Maybe back at the time, but
I hear 2 isn't that bad,
yeah.
but I hear it's a little difficult to play.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, they're essentially life sims with Dragon Quest combat. Back then.
They had like some weird first person stuff in like Persona 1 and 2 as well, which didn't.
Well, Dragon Quest normally was when you get into battles in Dragon Quest, it was first person for a long time.
Yeah.
You wouldn't see the characters fighting. It would just literally be like slash. Okay, got it. Next. These are the most popular games in all of Japan. Whenever anyone gets released,
Dragon Quest.
yes, they swarm to it. Old and young alike, and it's why the formula never changes. I have played a lot of Dragon Quest games. They're not that good.
Are they kind of like baby's first RPG?
They are baby's first RPG.
Yeah.
They're less complicated than Final Fantasy
Yeah.
to an extensive degree.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Shin Megami Tensei, was that always a big franchise in Japan?
I think it's kind of a cult hit. It sold enough copies to keep the studio open, and I think they have hardcore fans. I
And
think that's essentially how it rolls.
And when I say Shin Megami, I also include Persona. They're related, but
No, those do very well there. In fact, originally they were going to release Persona 5 on the PlayStation 3 as well, and they had to really cut back and be like, we can't get this running on the PS3.
yeah,
So-
that's a different hardware. That was pretty hard to develop for.
Well, the time span between Persona 4 and 5 was 10 years.
Yeah.
Essentially. Well, it was 9 technically, 2008 to 2017. And these have their audiences, but in the meantime, you were getting stuff like Shin Megami Tensei 4, like Devil Hacker. what are the other ones in that series? I don't even remember.
There's so many. And a lot of them aren't even called Shin Megami at all. They have their own offshoots, but they're in the same universe.
It's usually Shin Megami Tensei : something else.
Here, I'll look them up.
Yeah. Because it's an extensive list, and I was going to make some stuff up, but I'm really not in the improv mood right now.
Are you suffering from a tired demon?
Yeah, I'm suffering from Belphegor. I just want to shit and go to sleep.
List of Megami Tensei video games. So the first one, 87, is Digital Devil Story Megami Tensei. So there's 4 Megami Tenseis before they become Shin Megami Tenseis. Oh, God, a lot of them. Last Bible is a series. That's a Megami Tensei Gaiden. Revelations, the Demon Slayer. Last Bible 2, Last Bible 3, Another Bible, Last Bible Special. Majin Tensei is a series. Devil Summoner is considered its own offshoot. A whole bunch. And then the Persona series, which is...
far and away the better version of them. Recently, Shin Megami Tensei 5 came out, and I played it. I did not get to the end of it, though.
Didn't?
I fell off.
Okay.
It's fun. But have you played it, Tyler?
Mm-mm.
I'll let you guys borrow it if you really want to. I own it at physical. But I found myself just being like, oh, man, am I too old for video games? Am I willing to put in the work?
Something that I like about the Persona series, demons and gods exist within the universal consciousness due to the influence of the Star Eater. So essentially, as long as enough people believe in it, it's real. It's kind of like Santa Claus in the Santa Claus.
That's your frame of reference.
Well, I mean, if you believe in something enough, it becomes real. And that's like all of them come from the universal consciousness, which I think is a cool concept.
Well, yeah. I mean, like that's really interesting. If you really want to read something like comic book wise that's about that, read The Department of Truth. It's very good. Yeah. Also like American Gods. You guys ever read that?
Never read it, but that got a Showtime show, didn't it?
Yeah. The show's fine, but it's not the book. The book is fantastic.
I had a roommate that loved the book, and it was the same time the show was coming out.
It's my favorite
got
book.
Around to either one.
Yeah.
Some of the big demons that are in Persona, honestly, there's everyone ever. I just mentioned a couple that I think had really cool designs. We mentioned Belphegor. He's the governor of the deadly sin of sloth, sits on a toilet. I was very excited the first time playing Persona 5, and there was actually just a demon sitting on a toilet that I was fighting.
Yeah.
Literally. But more exciting, though, is the demon Mara. In Buddhist myth, known as the Evil One, you mentioned this, Dylan, a tempter representing the death of the spiritual life, said to be the ultimate obstacle of any who desire to achieve enlightenment into nirvana. The design is a penis chariot, and it represents the fear of death.
Yeah.
It's just a chariot that's just got a giant phallus on it. It's really crazy.
Yeah.
Damn.
Yeah. Dude, when I was researching this episode, I just went and put up Persona 5 and just scrolled through everything because that's one of those games I'm already playing 110 hours, so I didn't just go in and read the descriptions of every different Persona, and it's worth reading. They do little descriptions of like what religion they all come from and stuff, and just, yeah it's great. It's really cool. But we're going to hear from some of the other amazing shows from the HyperX Podcast Network. And then we're going to come back. We're going to talk about Doom. We're going to talk about Pokemon. We're going to talk about many things. So a lot of people, when they think about demons in video games, they would assume we're mean Doom.
Yeah.
For good reason. Doom is kind of hardcore.
Very.
Yeah.
It's not the first one that comes to my mind, though.
What's the first one that comes to your mind?
Dante's Inferno.
Dante's Inferno.
Yep.
The video game?
Yeah.
Not the book by Virgil?
No, not the book.
Okay.
I didn't read much as a kid, but when there was a game where I could travel through hell and had a giant scythe, I was like, sign me up.
How much is the game based on the book? Is it pretty... I imagine like at least the...
You go through the rings. I only played like half of it before I got really bored.
Well, they got the whole intro with Beatrice getting taken, and that's pretty, from what I'm aware of, pretty close to source material. And then the game deviates wherever it wants to. But then the ending is apparently supposed to be pretty close. I never read the Divine Comedy. Yeah.
I never made it to the end of that book either. I don't know what to tell you.
That's one of those good Wikipedia reads.
Yep. But the game was great. But that's where
I would pull up Brad Pitt in 7 and get the Spark Notes or whatever he gets.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's
just explain to me what I'm supposed to understand here.
Yeah. Yeah. It's So that game is a God of War clone, right?
Yep.
Okay. Is it actually fun?
I loved it. And
Okay.
it might be because I had only had a brush with God of War before I picked up Dante's Inferno. So that was like my real kind of dive into that genre of game.
Sure.
And it was gnarly. Like you going through all the different rings and the boss battles were dope. I remember being a kid and like there's like spiders coming out of Cleopatra's tits and the lust level during the boss battle. And I was like, this is fucking hardcore.
And your mom just knocks on the door. She's like, "You're not dancing in there, are you?"
Like, leave me alone.
I just gotta dance, Ma.
Gotta dance.
And then you do fight Satan at the end. And on the PlayStation, or no, it was the 360 I played it on. The graphics were phenomenal for the cutscenes. The cinematics were beautiful.
That's one thing I remember too.
Yeah. And like Satan at the end looks scary as hell.
I don't remember that. Pull up a picture of Satan from Dante's Inferno.
Okay. I mean, I think whoever is like designing demons, they're just like, dude, this make a great video game boss sometime in the future, I bet.
Yeah, they just got a folder on their computer.
Yeah. I don't know. It's like in hell as a level. Someone reads like, oh, there's 7 layers of hell. I'm like, I want to make a game so bad about this.
So as someone that makes art, drawing demons is the most fun shit on the face of the planet because you can just be as gross and dumb as you want to, and you can make it hideously warped, or you can do anything with it. You're meant to terrify people, and you're meant to actually like put people on their toes.
Well, it's such a good vessel for anything horror. Like you can adapt it to whatever anybody's afraid of, make a demon that specializes in that, and then boom.
Oh, there he is.
He's crying tears of lava.
Yeah, I do too.
And since we were talking about penises, he's got a big old one.
He's got a big
in
honker.
there.
That's
Yeah.
not, that looks like a urukai.
Dante's Inferno, Satan, Rule 34.
No.
Brad's not allowed to. Carly said he can't.
Carly won't give me the password. Doom is one that I think about when people mention demons, and that was one that very early on people were like, "The devil is in this game," and
it's blamed for like Columbine and
one of the reasons that happened is because the shooters from Columbine did like create levels in Doom.
Sure.
However, people they recreated the school layout in the game. They didn't. That's a lie. There was a lot of words being twisted. It was, we don't want to acknowledge there's a mental health problem in our country. Let's just say that it was Belfour making us fuck goats again.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Someone needs to go check on our neighbor Jim or whoever he is. He's out there again. Must just be demons that are making him do this. But, they're like, and then people in the news. Doom has the devil inside of it. This game is possessed, and the creators are like, yes.
Yeah.
We agree.
Why wouldn't you fucking say that? Like, it's such a good marketing tactic to just be so off the wall. That's how everything gets popular in the world.
Also, I find it really kind of interesting that a lot of these games are viewed poorly by a lot of people because of the inclusion of demons or the devil.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Where in a vast majority of these games, your goal is to kill all of them, which is like the most, that's the best case scenario. If your kid is picking up a demon game and he's just killing all of them, like, way to go on you, little Timmy. Yeah, rid the world of that evil.
I also, but you can't trust people this stupid to understand context.
That's true. I tell myself every day not to be surprised at how stupid people are, and I forget that every morning.
I don't forget it, but sometimes I slip up and I'm like, really?
Hope for the best, expect QAnon.
Yeah. And flat earthers. Those overlap.
I love it when flat earthers accidentally prove it's wrong. Like, whoa.
I saw a Reddit post about that. That was so funny.
Something must be wrong here.
Where's the ice wall?
Yeah. Another very demonic game came out in 1996 called Pokemon.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I got myself an original Japanese copy at MGC.
Pocket monsters, little demons.
Fire
you keep in your
or
pocket.
red version, yeah. They're considered by a lot of people demonic. In fact, the priest at my church actually told everyone to throw out Pokemon because it involves evolution.
That's my favorite excuse why Christians don't like Pokemon. Like, wait a second, Charizard was created by God.
Charizard was never a Charmander.
let's get our facts down here straight. That's so funny.
But my mom was like, "No, my kid likes his game. Fuck you."
Yeah.
And good on Tammy.
He's making friends for the first time ever. They're hooking their games up together.
They want Dylan's Pokemon. Come on.
In a 2001 article by Christian outlet Worthy News, the author claimed Pokemon opens up players to the demonic realm.
Oh boy,
Some Pokemon have supernatural and paranormal abilities.
They sure do.
And some religious naysayers have compared them to the demons in the Lesser Key of Solomon. Naturally, it's only a matter of time before role-playing games about Pikachu and Bulbasaur inspires children to seek out real demons like Volok. But despite the myriad of theories...
Hey, he came to me.
I didn't go looking for him.
Yeah, he showed up.
But back in 2000, the world's most influential Christian institution investigated the games and decided they did not contain any harmful moral side effects. Conspiracies did remain synonymous, despite the fact, though, that the Vatican completely absolved this franchise from evil. The Pope came out and said, nah, Pikachu's cool.
Did he just come out on the big
I
balcony
believe
with
it was-
a copy of Fire Red?
Yeah.
And just hold it up.
He's like, it's fun.
And the crowd goes crazy.
My starter was Squirtle. Yeah, it's very funny to me too. Like, it's like it was said. Pokemon was such a fad, and it was so influential. Anything that's popular or fun, they're gonna be like, "Well, that's your favorite game should be the Bible." Like, I don't know.
Anything kids like doing, like yo-yos.
It's hilarious. Your favorite game should be the Bible. Well, have you ever read the Bible? No. What the?
Have you ever played religious games?
Have you ever not watched football on a Sunday and read the Bible? Well, no.
Well, leave football out of this.
Football was made by God.
It's made by Americans.
And by extension, God.
And by extension, those white folks that are God. Yeah, a lot of games. I'll just throw a few out if you guys want to talk about them. We can. Diablo.
Love it.
Pretty fun.
I love me some Diablo.
I'm not
Original
huge on
Diablo. I'm sure you're not playing the mobile game.
Nope.
They did show Diablo 4. They announced a new character today.
Brad,
Really?
were you serious when you played it?
Played what?
Did you play Immortal?
No.
My buddy
I never
was-
said I played it.
I thought I heard you say that.
No, Tom asked if I've been playing. I said no, but
Oh, I was falling asleep.
I made the joke that I only play mobile Diablo games.
Oh, okay. That's where I heard that.
My
Yeah.
buddy was playing it when I was in Door County last weekend.
Yeah.
And he was playing a lot of it. He loves it.
Oh,
Oh, it's familiar Diablo with microtransactions.
Yeah. Not my cup of tea.
Yeah.
we're real gamers here, guys. Come on.
The Diablo setting is just all about primevals, lesser evils, Asmodan, Belial, Mephisto, true demon shit is
Surely.
Diablo.
Yeah.
My mom would not buy me Diablo 1 because of the cover.
Yeah.
We were looking at games one day. I'm like, I want that one. She's like, hell no.
Yeah. What did you get instead? Croc Legend of the Gobos?
I didn't get a game, but my dad bought me Half-Life like a week later. So,
Oh, okay.
Which
Well,
might as well just be like scarier than.
oh, it scared the shit out of me.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was way too young to play that.
Yeah, of course. Bashing head crabs and shit.
Oh, yeah, I was terrified.
one thing that I think is disappointing with Diablo is there was a version of.
There was a virgin.
I think
His
it was-
name was Brad, and then he wasn't.
I think, and then he wasn't anymore.
Oh, actually, we need to edit that out because you're saving it for marriage.
Correct.
Okay.
Belfour's got no hold on this boy.
I'm the gross demon man.
I think it was
I had
Diablo
sex
3.
before marriage.
There was a version that they were working on that was going to take place mostly in heaven, and they were going to be going to heaven to fight, and that would have been so interesting instead of all hell.
Don't wait.
You do go to
You,
heaven.
you do go to heaven in 3.
Well, like the game was going to only take place in heaven was my understanding.
That's interesting, but you have to have that gothic look
Yeah.
to it, like the horror look. Otherwise, it just doesn't.
I think that's why they ultimately zigzagged away from there. But
How did you feel about that trailer without like the HUD or everything? Did you think it looked? There's something about it that looks completely off.
maybe it's because it was playing on Xbox Series X and not a PC. It just looked a little out of place. I don't know.
I don't.
The game.
The size of the characters looked too big, and the action seemed to like you wouldn't be able to read it properly.
And there is a 15-year-old child saying, In this game, we have fun. As far as the trailer, though, the reveal of the Necromancer was terrible.
We didn't even know it was Diablo.
Nope. It looks...
This is Diablo 4?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like, wow, this game looks like another piece of shit.
Now, hold on. Were there reveal trailers for the other types of characters?
This is the last one they've announced. All the other characters have been announced.
So
Why have I never even seen the other ones then?
because this game's been coming out for 10 years.
Yeah,
I suppose
the
so.
Necromancer was the new character in 3. So
Well,
is
but-
it really a new character?
But it's announcing a character class for the game. I guess it's not announcing a new
okay.
character. It's announcing the final character class available.
Necromancer was fun, kind of OP in 3.
I never played it. I liked the Crusader, though.
The Crusader was great.
Yeah.
Devil May Cry?
I love Devil May Cry. Devil May Cry rules. I mean, it's Dante and his brother Virgil. Like, it's all based on that kind of crap. Astaroth is their dad.
Yeah, I've never played a Devil May Cry. I know that there's a white-haired guy that people like, and then they brought in a new guy that people hate.
It's the same guy, but it's a reboot. I liked the Devil May Cry reboot. DMC, for short. I found it fantastic. I think people are dumb. They wanted the same schlock. And Devil May Cry 5, as far as I'm concerned, I may go pick it up right after this because I kind of want to play it.
I'm guessing it plays like a Bayonetta, God of War type
It
game.
plays a lot more like a Bayonetta at this point.
Okay.
It's a character action game, much in that sense, combo based, but there are like RPG elements to it too where you can upgrade stuff. It's a lot of fun. Devil May Cry 5 is kind of a masterpiece if you're ever looking for something like that. Bayonetta is better, though.
I definitely want to play Devil May Cry. Are you a big Devil May Cry person?
No, I kind of missed the boat on it.
Don't play the earlier ones. You're not going to like them, unfortunately.
I don't think I liked them when I was a kid and saw my friends playing them and just kind of like, meh.
Now, everybody knows about Guitar Hero, and there's a devil, and there's some demonic stuff, plus you're playing the devil's music, rock and roll.
Oh, yeah.
But a lot of people don't know about a little game called Guitar Praise. It's a Christian rhythm video game for the PC, published by Digital Praise. It uses contemporary Christian music with gameplay akin to that of Guitar Hero.
Oh, God
Does
is
it-
an awesome God.
Does it come with a guitar controller?
Yeah,
Shaped like a cross?
I wish. It's probably just a really shitty version of the regular Guitar Hero controller, but
That'd be awesome, and I would buy it. That's hilarious. Click it, click it, click it, click it, click it. Praise Jesus, click it, click it, click it.
Just getting hit in the face
Amen.
with the T.
yeah, you put the cross in your back like you're bearing it when you're doing a solo.
Imagine you see the box on Christmas.
It's
and
shaped
you're
like a
kid.
cross.
No, it's shaped exactly like a box that like a Guitar Hero would come in.
Yeah.
And the kid's just like flipping out, like, you got me this? You got me this? He opens it and it's just like, oh.
Featuring all of your favorite bands from Christian music.
You
Timmy.
like Creed? It's
Yeah, I
mostly
was going to
Creed.
say, it's got like 12
Do you like-
Creed songs on it.
We couldn't get Creed. They're a little too big for Christian praise or guitar praise. But you ever another little game, Demon Souls, Dark Souls?
I think
Yeah.
I've heard of that.
Yeah. I mean, Demon Souls, it's right in the title, right?
Yeah,
But what they call demons are essentially just like, I don't know.
They're-
How would you describe it?
birthed from the bed of chaos.
Yeah. I mean, it's pretty cut and paste, and, you know,
We like those games around here.
we do.
And a lot of bosses are loosely inspired by some demons. We mentioned the one Reborn and Bloodborne has very much a Legion type look to it, but none of these are really direct versions of demons from mythology. They're all their own little, sometimes inspired by or twists on these things, but they do have demons in the title, so I would be remiss to not mention it.
Yeah.
Dante's Inferno, we mentioned this, came out in 2010. On our Discord, I just wanted to mention that Ryan chimed in and said, all I really remember from Dante's Inferno was getting an achievement called Bad Nanny for killing 20 unbaptized babies.
Yeah, you do that in Limbo.
Fun.
Great. Achievement. 10 gamer points.
Brad, were you baptized?
Yep.
Okay. We're all going to heaven.
I'm confirmed, dude.
I'm confirmed too,
Belfour's
babe.
not getting a hold of this boy.
I'm confirmed too, but I'm a secret spy for the other side.
Did you ever play the Catherine game?
I played a little bit of it, but
That's like a weird dating sim where you have a puzzle where you climb a lady's body or something.
No, you climb it's like a push block puzzles that you move up through, and then you're like a sheep man.
And you might sheep man.
In the dream, you're like a sheep man.
Belfour's in this room.
It's fun.
There's like one of the female characters is like the demon that's trying to steal you away from your good girl,
I believe
right?
it's Catherine with the C.
Okay.
It's Catherine with a K. She's the demon.
That's Tom's girlfriend's name.
I know. I didn't warn him.
But not Kathy. I did want to mention Saints Row Gat Out of Hell.
Okay.
2015, this is like a DLC where you actually go into hell. I didn't write down too much because I thought it was just kind of crazy. But this game, actually go into hell, is the point of the DLC. You run into Jezebel Mephistopheles, which I thought was a cool character name, Satan's daughter. She's set to marry the protagonist, but is reluctant to do so. You control Johnny Gat. I don't know. I've never played a Saints Row game, but this one's set in hell, which sounds interesting. Cuphead, deal with the devil.
Yeah.
Pretty obvious what's going on there.
Yeah. I will bring up El Shaddai.
Okay. Yeah.
Ascension of the Metatron.
Yeah.
Yeah, that is a weird character action game as well. And you're essentially you're fighting off angels and demons because you're essentially living out the book of Enoch from the Bible, where it talks about how angels would come down and fuck humans and make half angel creatures called the Nephilim. Mm-hmm. And the Nephilim end up becoming demons. So
classic.
Yeah, seems about right.
Yeah, you know how that goes.
Yeah.
I mean, those angels, they were pretty sexy. These big balls of fire.
The moment angels got the internet and they're just able to watch anything, they're like, whoa.
That's why we don't have the Nephilim anymore. They're too distracted up there.
Yeah. They can watch anything they want now.
They got the highest gig, you know?
They got Firewire.
Yeah.
Somehow still Comcast, though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No other options up there.
God just has dial-up.
I did
That's why he's not helping us out.
I did make a miscellaneous list of many games, like Legend of Zelda. Demons are a recurring race of monstrous beings with an evil alignment. There are actual demons in the game. I mean, Mortal Kombat, Ninja Gaiden. Puyo Puyo. Satan is often the antagonist of the series. Likes Hawaiian shirts.
Antagonist? Oh, okay.
And is a hopeless lover, which is one of my favorite kinds of Satans.
Are we just describing me?
I'm glad you said it. Likes Hawaiian shirts.
Literally what I'm wearing. Do we have any devil horns here? We could take a pic. Hopeless lover. Very funny.
In a 1993 game called Little Devil, you play as a little red devil called Mutt, who is trying to receive the mystical pizza of plenty from the Labyrinth of Chaos. Just a fun story. I like that.
That's good old-fashioned family fun.
That's wholesome.
Warcraft, not something that I'm authorized to talk on, but
Neither am I.
a lot of demons.
Really?
Princess.
Not even you, Tyler? Mm-mm. You seem like a Warcraft guy, and I don't mean that with any offense.
I've played it before, but couldn't talk on it.
Sure. Yeah. Princess Crown. I didn't look too much into this, but it just sounded cool. 2D side-scrolling action RPG for the Sega Saturn. I just wanted to say that out loud because I imagine Kip has played this.
Kip, right in.
Kip, you know what to do. Grim Fandango.
That's not really demons, though. That's just that's the traditional kind of Land of the Dead from Mexican folklore.
Some call them demons, but
Sure.
again...
Well, there are demons. There's, what's his name? The mechanic who drives your car. His name is like Grumpy, Gruff, something.
Is it Grim?
No. He's like he is a demon.
Okay.
Now that I recall. I forget his name. I played through that 7 years ago, maybe.
It is beloved by many people.
It's wonderful. It's very funny.
Guilty Gear. Never played any of those.
I've played a few Guilty Gears.
1999, we got our first Berserk game.
Yeah.
Do you know how many Berserk games there are, Dylan?
1, 2, 3. 3?
Yeah.
Damn.
Sword of the Berserk, Guts Rage is the first one for the Dreamcast. There's Millennium Empire Arc, Chapter of the Holy Demon War for the PS2, and Berserk and the Band of the Hawk, PlayStation 3. I think Berserk would need its own separate podcast if we really wanted to talk about it. But
it would end with me crying because I love that. It's my favorite thing on the planet.
they recently announced it's going to be continued by...
I was just going to bring that up. Yeah.
What's the creator's name? Something Taro?
Kentaro Miura.
Kentaro Miura. His best friend is going to be... one of his best friends is continuing the
assistants.
series. Yeah, so that's hopeful, possibly.
I would like to see the conclusion of this, but in my mind, it's done. I've already grieved for it.
What I would hope, as someone, I'm not familiar with the series, but as long as they don't extend it as long as they can, as long as they get in there and tell the ending that was hopefully...
get it done.
Get it done,
Yeah.
get out.
They're going to lose a few arcs along the path because that series has been going for 30 years plus. It's as old as I am. So it's... my hope is that they go into a next arc and they finish it out strong because I'm going to imagine he told them exactly what happens in the story because why wouldn't you? Mm-hmm. And they're so dedicated to their work over there. Hopefully they don't die because of it because if they make it the same quality that he was doing it, they'll die.
There's a very popular demon game from 2001 called Jackie Chan Adventures.
Oh, shit.
Demons are being unleashed upon the world, and Jackie Chan, his niece Jade Chan, and his uncle are going to stop them. They are the J-Team.
And then Toru.
Who's Toru?
Toru's a character on the show. He's a big sumo man. He was once an enemy, but he becomes their friend.
And Chris Tucker and Jackie and Owen Wilson show up as well.
Yeah, it's a real Shanghai Nights scenario.
Yep.
Sorry, Shanghai Noon. That's a better reference.
Rush Hour 3, right?
Yeah, sure. Chris Tucker's there as well.
Onimusha, Otogi Myth of Demons, Disgaea, Eternal Darkness.
Eternal Darkness is a lot of fun, but that's a little more like eldritch horror.
Yeah.
It would be demons, technically, right?
Well, I guess, it depends on your definition, but anything that's beyond our comprehension could be a demon, but it also could not be. We just can't comprehend it.
That's true.
That is the first mature-rated GameCube game, which is kind of cool. Eternal Darkness.
That deserved a sequel, too. It's unfortunate.
Paper Mario, Thousand Year Door is the only Mario game that I could find a confirmed demon. Several beings fit the definition of demon much better, but most notable of all is the Shadow Queen, a 1,000-year-old demon who possesses Princess Peach. Joan of Arc for 2006, tactical RPG for the PlayStation Portable. She gets sucked into a demon war. This is one of those games that just sounded like it must have been cool. I didn't really look into it, but a tactical RPG about Joan of Arc fighting demons sounds like something I'd play.
I remember seeing ads for it in Game Informer.
Okami, Alone in the Dark, Dragon Age Origins.
Okami, that is a good game with demons in it. Because it's like traditional Japanese demons and you're fighting them. Oh, it's so good. Have you guys never played Okami?
No.
It is the best Legend of Zelda game. Literally.
Whoa.
Yep. That's my best way of describing
I
it.
haven't played many. Actually, I have played a fair amount of Legend of Zelda games, but in the realm of every Zelda game, not many.
It's the best 3D Zelda game. Let's put it that way.
Okay.
It wasn't meant to be, but it basically plays like a Legend of Zelda game. And it is really good.
Well, that's on my list of things that I need to do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I play it once every 2 years.
First, I got to beat Mega Man ZX.
I am going to have a hard time with those because those games are difficult. Have you booted it up yet?
Nope. Mega Manuary is a dark time of the year for everybody. I had a thought today. I'm like, do we just cram the Legend series onto Dogcast episodes that month and get all of the Mega Man out of our system?
I've never played the Legends series.
You don't have to. I'll play them. I'll carry the cross for both of us.
I'll watch a playthrough, but...
There's a great game for the PlayStation Portable called Prinny, Can I Really Be the Hero? Where you play as a penguin who tracks down ingredients for the ultra dessert. Mm-hmm. Sir Sweet is a gourmet demon who steals the dessert.
Bastard.
Defeat that demon and get your dessert.
That's a Disgaea spinoff.
Well, it sounds god dang adorable.
Disgaea is a good game with demons in it.
Is that an RPG?
It's a tactics RPG.
Ooh, I like that.
But it's hyper complicated and very time wasting. I've played Disgaea. I own Disgaea 3 and 4 for the PlayStation 3.
All right, we got Darksiders, Binding of Isaac, Shadow Warrior, Trillion, God of Destruction. Bloodstained is one that I've definitely played.
Myself in My Shadow.
Myself in My Shadow. After Party 2020. This game sounded cool. Set in Hell, themed as a college town. The player drinks with Satan and you go on adventures. Looks kind of dope.
It's kind of my dream.
That's called Tuesday for Dylan. And now we're at the very special segment. As a bonus for the Demon episode, Bible games.
Bible games.
Bible games. Because if you acknowledge that there is a Jesus or a God, you're acknowledging that there are demons and the devil. So,
Kind of. Some people don't believe in that.
do you guys know when the first religious game came out?
I'm going to guess 1987.
1989.
1983.
Whoa.
Red Sea Crossing comes out for the Atari 2600. It's a game about Moses crossing the Red Sea, dodge seaweed and giant clams, as well as Egyptians.
As well as Egyptians?
As well as Egyptians. Whoops. Missed me.
Whoop. Oh.
Running across the sea here.
Sorry.
Only 2 copies are known to exist, despite 100 being made. It is the most expensive Atari game that most money an Atari game has ever been sold for in the aftermarket. One was sold in 2012 for $14,000.
Holy shit.
Plays like Frogger, except you're playing as Moses dodging Egyptians. Which I'm about.
Refuse.
I'm about that, you know?
Yeah.
My favorite thing, though, Bible games where you're not fighting demons, you're like dodging snakes.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
1991, Bible Adventures is an unlicensed NES game because a lot of these weren't licensed.
I may or may not have played this. I don't know if I'm creating false memories, though.
Highly derivative of Super Mario Brothers 2 for America.
Yep.
You pick things up kind of like that.
I remember
like
being
onions.
Noah in it.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
All right. I might be on the right track here. I don't know who had it or when I played it, but
I asked for Super Mario Brothers 2, Mom.
no, my mom wasn't going to give me that shit. Come on. I had a Game Boy.
1992, Spiritual Warfare, another unlicensed NES game that is highly derivative of Legend of Zelda.
Spiritual warfare.
Yes, your attack.
Jihad, the game.
Your attacks turn enemies into Christians.
Nice, dude.
Oh my god.
Well,
Now,
there's
that's a sword I wish I had.
well, there's a game called like Captain Christian or something like that. Is that on your list here?
Maybe. I don't see it here, but there was some
okay.
that I don't have. What happens in Captain Christian?
I don't know. I just saw a Let's Play of it like a year or two ago, and I was completely absorbed by it because you have to like solve. You have to solve. You have to do like Christian trivia in order to defeat the demons. You can't actually destroy the demons. So they ask you a question, and the demon goes and disappears.
In what book did Paul say to the Corinthians?
Yes, exactly.
Book 1, book 2.
Yep.
That's how you defeat the demons, by memorizing the book of Corinthians.
Because demons will stop to give you quizzes.
I just love that they have 2 unlicensed NES games. One is a Mario Brothers 2 ripoff, and one is a Legend of Zelda ripoff. Super Noah's Ark, or Super 3D Noah's Ark, came out in 1994. This is the only unlicensed game ever released in the US for the Super Nintendo. It's literally just Wolfenstein 3D, but instead of shooting Nazis, you play as Noah, and you slingshot animals with sleep-inducing food to put them to sleep on the Ark.
That is one I'm also sort of familiar with for some reason.
There's only 11 animal species, despite there being a lot more animals on the Ark. And this was originally conceived as a licensed Hellraiser video game. After the success of Doom, though, it was changed to Christian. The final boss is Bert the Bear, and you're just slingshotting food at Bert the Bear to put him to sleep.
Awesome.
They really did a 180 then.
Well, and this is just ignoring Christian texts that say the animals all went on there docile and happy to be saved.
So,
Bert the Bear just came on after a cocaine bender and is just ready to eat you.
So I was at the art museum pretty recently, and when you see like pictures of like Noah gathering the animals, it's very funny because most of them are just references from the era. So they wouldn't have like pictures of zebras or anything to reference. So it was all like Cocker spaniels and like
Whatever animals they had around.
like brush fowl and just like whatever they had around. And it's just very funny to me because I'm like, oh yeah, no giraffes, no lions.
No. Jesus didn't know about them. They were in another part of the world.
Of course not.
Can't
I'm
say
like,
that.
that breed of dog? Okay.
Another very fun game is called Sunday Fun Day.
Oh boy.
This is a ripped-off version of Menace Beach. Now, Menace Beach is a game where you skateboard to save your girlfriend from gang members. They changed it to a different character, and instead of saving your girlfriend from gang members, you're skateboarding to your Sunday school, which you're late for.
Oh.
That's so relatable, guys.
For some reason, the final boss is a bear again. I don't know what it is with
Really?
bears in Christian games, but they're there.
I guess they're kind of intimidating.
I mean, snakes are right there.
You got a snake.
Snakes right
Yeah.
there.
Too much animation.
You actually bash people's head in with your skateboard. You can see their souls leaving.
Oh boy.
According to the manual, you are late for Sunday school, and it includes a sing-along.
Now you must rid people of their souls.
It includes a sing-along song of a Christian pop band for him.
Hey.
In the game, you must use your skateboard and any objects you find, such as balloons, grapefruits, and newspapers, to defeat bullies, clowns, and businessmen. A sing-along song.
Bullies, clowns, and businessmen?
Yes, everyone that's trying to prevent you from learning about God.
I mean, the bullies and the clowns make sense, but the businessmen.
Well, why don't you go to school? Pay your taxes.
Churches should pay taxes. No.
Oh,
Never.
that's where we get
In
it.
Menace Beach, every level you beat, your girlfriend is shown with less clothing.
Wow.
In Sunday Fun Day, it's your Sunday school teacher looking at you disapprovingly.
Why aren't you here yet?
Yeah, I know who I would choose. 1999, The War in Heaven is released. Doom meets the Bible. Intended for Christian males 15 and older. You choose either the divine path of obedience and become an angel, or the fallen path of power and follow Lucifer.
Hell yes.
I like that they give you the moral, the choice there. You
Yeah,
know?
let them choose.
Yeah. Because if you cease to be able to choose, you cease to be a man, as the Clockwork Orange would say. Being a man requires choice. If otherwise, you're just skateboarding to Sunday school every day. You know. Mm-hmm. I'd rather sometimes fight a businessman. You know.
Yeah.
That seems like you're choosing Lucifer as well. I don't know.
Some days I see a businessman and I'm just like, I'm going to fuck that shit up.
Now, the Christian game of the year in 2007 was a game called The Axis Adventures: Truth Seekers. 3D platform adventure, a sort of Christian version of The Legend of Zelda. However, despite carrying a sword and shield, the player is penalized every time you seek a violent solution to encounters with enemies. The publisher described this game as, the story is ultimately a parable for seeking for healing and forgiveness that takes place in our lives.
Sure.
Give God access to your heart. It's also a blast to play. You can rescue NPC penguins in the game, much like Christianity.
And somehow you face a bear at the end.
There's got to be a bear.
There's at least one bear it's Bert. Bert, my favorite villain of the Bible is Bert the bear.
Yeah. He's
Bert-
scary.
Bert the bear took John the Baptist's head off the platter and ate that shit. Mm-hmm. Bible Fight is a browser-based fighting game from 2007. You can play as 6 characters: Jesus, Moses, Mary, baby Jesus, Eve.
We've got a real Mario Party scenario going on.
Right.
Well, Donkey Kong's got Diddy Kong. Why don't we just put baby Jesus in there?
Where do you got Jesus? Different character.
Time travel, you know?
This reminds me of like Talladega Nights when they're arguing over how they view Jesus. Like, I like my Jesus be wearing a tuxedo T-shirt because it means he's here to party. But
I like mine as a white man with an 8-pack holding a lamb. I had one other Jesus game to mention called Jesus Christ RPG. The Bible is a series of epic adventures, so it makes sense to turn it into a role-playing game. Available free on Steam, Jesus Christ RPG is a trilogy of adventures revolving around 3 major Bible stories: Jesus' birth, death, and resurrection.
Wow, nothing else, huh?
In each one, you command different party members. In birth, you play as Mary and Joseph, battling an army out to kill their infant son.
Lovely.
I don't think that happened.
I missed that Sunday school lesson.
You also play as the 3 wise men, fighting evil with screwball summons like Aladdin's genie for some reason. Once the parties convene to celebrate the new baby, you naturally receive 10,000 gold pieces along with frankincense and myrrh. There's no need for Phoenix Downs, however. Jesus has that whole back to life thing covered already.
Good God.
Pretty good, right?
That's not bad. If I still had Steam, well, I do have a Steam account. I just don't have anything to play it on. I would have played this. It sounds funny.
In Death, you play as a fully grown Jesus alongside Mary Magdalene, Simon Peter, and Judas, whom the game calls traitor before he even does anything. You can't judge something. What is Tom Cruise in Minority Report? Come on.
Yeah.
Spoilers.
Yeah.
Honestly.
Wait, what? I wasn't done reading it yet.
What? The final boss is naturally Satan, or more accurately, a robot called the Special Amphibian Tactical Assault Android, Satan,
That's fun.
because obviously. Then there's Resurrection, where Jesus enters heaven and can purchase any item for free. Heaven is going to a vending machine and getting all the surge you want.
I'm kind of picturing it as like a scholastic book fair for some reason.
Which one can I get? All of them, Billy.
Hey, listen, they're all books. It's great.
I died and I saw heaven. It was Walmart.
It was Walmart. Everything said free.
Yeah.
You like those jean shorts? Take them.
I love that they made a Christian game and they still found a way to incorporate capitalism.
Yeah.
Jesus just buys a Punisher decal for his pickup truck.
Also in this chapter, the angel Gabriel and the thief who Jesus forgave on the cross enter hell to rescue innocent Old Testament people. At this point, you're basically invincible, so if you want any actual challenge, deny this game and seek elsewhere.
Wow.
Yeah. Demons and shit. We didn't mention Final Fantasy, which does have a lot of demonology,
Yeah, it
demon-based enemies and stuff, but I didn't know what to expect studying demons in video games. Some of the most exciting thing, though, was the religious stuff. The Bible games are fun.
Yeah.
I thought I had a solid grasp on all the demons and devils in video games, and I am woefully unprepared. There is a lot that I didn't even know existed.
That's what we get.
I didn't include probably at least 50 or 60 games because eventually at some point it just becomes tedious.
Yeah, because I was thinking about, remember the game The Darkness, where you play as the Jackie? That's that's demons, right?
It's a demon, yeah.
Yeah, and you can use the heads to bite people and stuff.
Yeah.
That game was fun as hell.
That game is pretty cool.
Yeah, that game was sick.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a good FPS.
I think demons are video games that have a lot of demons in them. That's not what makes them great, but fuck, if I can't just go to Persona 5 and look at all of those different personas and just read about them, it's fascinating. And I like that approach to it being a part of the universal consciousness, rather than understanding, of course, what makes people do bad things like fuck goats. It's Belfour.
We'll go around the horn here. Favorite demon in a video game? I'll start. Mine's Mr. Mime. Because look at him.
Even the Pope's like, this is all great. Except Mr. Mime.
Except Mr. Mime. Why is he a Pokemon? He just looks like a man.
Me.
He just looks like a misshapen man.
I guess I'll go Grand Falloon or Legion from the Castlevania series.
Sure.
I do love a giant clump of bodies.
That's pretty rad.
It is cool.
Yeah, Legion, even from the Persona series, is cool too.
I also am a fan of Mara and Belphegor, the demon just shitting on a toilet. There's something incongruous with that. You don't imagine the devil sitting on a toilet because they didn't have toilets back when the devil was more famously depicted.
Yeah.
Yeah, you don't see a picture of the devil playing on his Nokia N-Gage.
Yeah, they also left him out of the book Everybody Poops because he definitely wasn't in that.
The devil was just waiting. He's like, I'm not in this book at all, am I? I am on page 10 and I am not in this book. And I take shits often. And who's yours?
Oh, man. That's really tough. I've always been partial to the way they portray him in Diablo because it's they follow the source material pretty close. Maybe Osmodan or Belial.
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah, Belial is good. That's the one that takes control of the little prince guy, right?
I
in
think.
3.
I don't know.
Little shithead.
Diablo is traditional heavy metal extreme versions. I'd say that a lot of people that are religious in nature and believe in these demons would look at the designs of the Diablo universe like that looks kind of how we would
Nailed it.
want to assume a demon looks.
Yeah.
like.
Sure, yeah.
Not like Persona where a lot of them are just happy spinning stars like we're demons.
Look at us go. Jack Frost.
I think we can all agree though that demons are a cool part of video games. And if you're late to Sunday school, just skateboard there. Hit those businessmen with your board.
Bash their souls right out of them.
Yeah.
Take this, you corporate necktie.
Actually, my favorite demon, I'm going to go back. It's Bert the Bear.
Bert the Bear.
I agree.
Yeah. Bert the Bear is the patron saint of the Raw Dogs.
Am I remembering correctly, or can you skateboard as Jesus in one of the Tony Hawk games?
I think you're not remembering correctly. I don't think Tony Hawk is that controversial.
No, maybe it was like a mod.
You're thinking of Darth Maul.
You're thinking
I
of
get him
Darth
confused
Maul.
for Jesus a lot.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Or Spider-Man. He's kind of a Jesus.
Wolverine's
character.
in one of them.
Oh, yeah.
Yep.
Okay. I cannot see Wolverine skateboarding.
Metal Gear Solid 2 Substance had a skateboarding level included where you played a Solid Snake. And back to talking about other video games. We are back, folks. I mean, if you're going to make a game about Noah's Ark, please give him sleep-inducing food and a slingshot, because that's the only thing that makes sense to me.
I mean, that's how I go to bed every night. Someone it's just like they just sling back a pizza roll and they throw it right in my mouth.
That's how you get Dylan to go to bed.
It's just
The
like,
D-Man
okay.
just needs some pizza rolls.
I'm done now.
Maybe that's how David defeated Goliath. Just
It wasn't a rock. It was a very spicy, hot pizza roll.
Yeah. And it was like, ha, ha, ha.
Well, Raw Dogs exist because of people like you. If you have a chance and you want to support us, you can find us on patreon.com/hairthedogcast. You get access to this episode and many other episodes, not only much earlier, but there are also just completely exclusive episodes and podcasts, including our after show, another podcast about movies and stuff like that. Check it out. If you want to talk to us about anything about this episode, other games, episodes we've talked about before, we'd love to hear from you. You can email us at hairthedogcast@gmail.com. We're on Twitter at HotDogCast, Instagram as well, hairthedogcast. Executive producers, Ryan Krisianik, Tyler Keller, Kip, the killer good guy.
Killer good guy.
And Brian Ward and Katie Bone, we love you all. Thanks for supporting us. We're part of the HyperX Podcast Network. For more information, check out podcast.hyperx.com. I don't know what our upcoming episode topic is. It's a ways out. It'll be a really good dogcast where we talk about something great, I would imagine. Hopefully it's great. We don't know. We haven't recorded it yet.
I'm going to give it my best shot.
If you like this episode...
I'm not even going to try. I'm going to wing it.
If you like this episode, stay tuned, because Raw Dog 69 is going to be the history of sex in video games, where we might get even more off the rails. It's just going to be me talking about Jack from Mass Effect 3.
There you go. Oh, well. Oh, well. Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Thanks for tuning in.
Bye, guys.
Bye.